It's not always easy for our loved ones to understand, like all of the ups and downs of entrepreneurship.
Oh, absolutely.
So inviting them into that world, even just a little bit, can make a huge difference. Ever feel like there's some kind of code to success in business? Like something you just can't quite crack?
It's a common feeling, actually.
Right. What if I told you we could maybe try to uncover that code using numerology?
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So get this. Today we're going deep diving into the world of numerology and how it can maybe unlock your potential in business and life.
Sounds fascinating.
We're going to be unpacking this conversation between this podcast host, Kyle Goodnight, and his guest, Anne Marie McKenzie. She's a social business strategist and a professional numerologist.
Wow, that's a powerful combination.
It is. You can find their whole conversation on the Ignition Path podcast, and it is jam-packed with insights. And it's really cool because they both talk about battling limiting beliefs and corporate burnout. So
Been there.
exactly. They've been there, felt that frustration. So their advice is really relatable.
It makes it feel much more authentic, I think, when you know they've gone through it.
Totally. And you know me, I'm always fascinated by people with unique journeys, and this is definitely one for the books. So to kick things off, tell me more about Kyle and Anne Marie. Who are they? What led them to this conversation about numerology?
So Kyle, he's the podcast host, and he is all about entrepreneurship and emotional intelligence. You can just tell he's a very driven guy.
Yeah.
But you can hear that frustration when he talks about feeling stuck, Like something's holding him back.
I feel that. We've all been there at some point.
Yeah.
So how does he connect with Anne Marie?
So it's that desire to understand what makes people tick, that emotional intelligence piece that draws him to Anne Marie's work. And what she does is she starts by helping her clients tap into their core desired feelings. She actually uses this cool acronym for setting goals: Get Open About Living Socially, or GOAL LLS.
I love it. Catchy and practical. But then she transitions from emotional intelligence to numerology. That's quite a leap.
It was a very natural progression for her. She found that identifying core feelings was super helpful, but it could be a really lengthy process.
Yeah.
Whereas numerology, being rooted in ancient mathematics, offered much faster and more profound insights
Really?
into someone's strengths, values, and even their ideal client.
Wow. So numerology is like a shortcut to deeper self-awareness.
Yeah.
I am intrigued. Was Anne Marie always into numerology, though?
She admits to being a bit skeptical initially, which I think makes her insights even more credible. She had explored other systems like human design,
Yeah.
but found numerology to be much more resonant and historically grounded.
It's like those of us who devour self-help books. We're always on the lookout for that thing that truly clicks.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely.
And it sounded like numerology was Anne Marie's click.
Totally, yeah.
What I find fascinating is that during their conversation, Kyle actually gets a live numerology reading, right? Talk about a deep dive.
Right. And it's so illuminating for us just listening to understand how numerology actually works. For example, the reading reveals that Kyle has what's called the arrow of the planner.
Okay.
It means he thrives on structure and gets anxious when things feel out of control.
I can totally relate to that. I'm a planner by nature. What other insights came up in Kyle's reading?
His ruling number is 6, which emphasizes harmony and balance. So this explains his desire for consensus building and why he might shy away from conflict. And this is where it gets really interesting. He also has the arrow of frustration. It indicates a tendency to people pleases and struggle with saying no.
Oh, wow. The people-pleasing struggle is so real.
It is real.
I'm sure many entrepreneurs listening can relate to that. How does this play out in Kyle's business, though?
So at the time of the interview, he was holding back from sharing his business plans with his wife because he was afraid of her disapproval.
Oh, wow.
He was so worried about disrupting the harmony in their relationship that it was actually creating an energetic block for him.
That's such a powerful illustration of how our personal lives and beliefs can impact our businesses.
Right.
It's like Anne Marie says, everybody has limiting beliefs.
Everyone does.
We've all internalized these messages that can hold us back.
Absolutely. And she uses a great anecdote to illustrate this. Anne Marie talks about always being told that she wouldn't amount to anything without a college degree. She actually enrolled in a university course.
Wow.
But almost immediately she felt completely out of place. She was surrounded by teenagers
Yeah.
who it seemed like didn't really even value their education, and
Yeah.
she realized she was already exceeding expectations in her field without a degree.
Wow, talk about an aha moment.
Right.
It really highlights how sneaky those limiting beliefs can be.
They really
We
are.
carry them around for years and we don't even realize they're holding us back.
Totally.
So how does numerology help overcome these blocks?
So it provides a framework for understanding your innate strengths and values.
Okay.
Like in Kyle's case, just knowing that he's a natural planner and harmony seeker,
Hmm.
it gives him permission to approach his business decisions in a way that honors those traits instead of fighting against them.
Okay, so it's about leaning into your numerological blueprint, not trying to fit into somebody else's mold.
Yeah.
Love that. But let's get practical.
Okay.
What specific advice does Anne Marie give for applying this to business and life?
So one of her biggest takeaways is the power of clear, compassionate communication,
Yeah.
especially with our loved ones.
Okay.
Remember how Kyle was so hesitant to even share his business plan with his wife?
Right.
Anne Marie really encourages listeners to invite their loved ones into that journey.
Okay, I'm all for that. It's
Yeah.
about understanding and support, not keeping them in the dark.
Right, exactly.
What does that look like practically?
It's not about demanding approval or anything like that.
Right.
But just saying, hey, this is really important to me and I want to share it with you. How can you best support me in this?
I love that.
It's about finding ways to involve them, even in small ways.
Such a good point.
Yeah.
Because it's not always easy for our loved ones to understand,
Yeah.
all of the ups and downs of entrepreneurship.
Oh, absolutely.
So inviting them into that world, even just a little bit, can make a huge difference.
It can.
What about the arrow of frustration, that people-pleasing thing? Any advice on how to overcome that hurdle?
So Anne Marie's advice is actually really simple, but it's profound.
Okay.
Stop doing things that disrupt your harmony and drain your energy.
Ooh.
It's about recognizing that saying no to things that don't serve us is actually an act of self-care.
Right.
And that's absolutely essential for sustainable success.
That really resonates because protecting our energy, I think, is crucial, especially in the fast-paced business world.
Oh, for sure.
Now, you mentioned that Anne Marie works with entrepreneurs through this thing called the Conscious Business Collective.
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
So it's actually fascinating. It's like this monthly gathering where entrepreneurs are using numerology to tap into what she calls universal energy.
Universal energy. That sounds pretty out there. Give me an example.
Okay, so let's say it's May, which Anne Marie identifies as a 4 energy month.
Okay.
A 4 in numerology represents stability, systems, structure. So during that month, she's guiding these entrepreneurs to really focus on those aspects of their business.
So instead of just going with the flow, they're using numerology to strategically plan for the month ahead,
Exactly.
both for themselves and for their clients.
Yes, and their clients. It's like weaving those ancient wisdom traditions into their business planning.
That's really cool.
I know, it's super innovative.
Mm.
And it seems to really resonate with people at all different stages, whether they're just starting out or they're, well established.
It makes you wonder if we've been approaching business strategy all wrong.
Right.
What if, by tuning into these bigger energetic cycles, we could unlock even greater levels of success?
Right, and fulfillment. And one thing that really struck me was her emphasis on sustainability.
Okay.
And not just in the environmental sense, but sustainability in terms of our energy and our well-being.
Right.
It's about creating businesses that truly align with our values and allow us to thrive.
Abundance on all levels.
Yeah.
Not just financially.
Yeah.
I love that. And it actually reminds me of Anne Marie's own experience with that limiting belief about needing a college degree.
Yes.
It was by breaking free from that definition of success that had been imposed on her from the outside
Yes.
that she was able to step into her full potential.
It's so true. And that's what I find so inspiring about this whole conversation.
Yeah.
It's about empowering ourselves with self-knowledge, questioning those old limiting beliefs,
Right.
and then creating businesses and lives that are truly in alignment with our authentic selves.
Yes. So as we kind of start to wrap up this part of our deep dive, what are the biggest takeaways you think our listeners should be walking away with?
I think first and foremost, numerology can be this incredibly powerful tool for self-discovery.
Okay.
It reveals so much about our strengths, our values, even those hidden beliefs that might be holding us back.
It's about knowing ourselves better so we can make choices that are in alignment.
Exactly. And then secondly, open and honest communication is key,
Yeah.
especially with the people that we're closest to. Don't let your entrepreneurial ambitions come at the expense of your personal relationships.
Right. Invite them into that journey. Seek their support. And remember, clear communication is an act of love,
Yes.
not just in business, but in life. And never underestimate the power of saying no
Oh, it's
to
huge.
things that drain your energy.
Yeah, it's all about setting those healthy boundaries, prioritizing yourself, your well-being,
Right.
and recognizing that sometimes saying no is like the ultimate act of self-love.
It's like clearing the path for more good stuff to come in, to our lives and our businesses.
Absolutely. So, for any of our listeners who want to go deeper into numerology and Anne Marie's work, where can they go?
Yeah, tell us how to connect. I know I'm ready to like decode my own numerology chart now after all of
Well,
this.
her website is definitely a great place to start.
Okay.
You can find all the details about her conscious business collective, her coaching, and even just some free resources so you can kind of dip your toe in and see what it's all about.
Fantastic. We will definitely link that in the show notes for everyone to explore. And you know me, I always like to end these deep dives with a thought-provoking question for everyone listening.
I love it.
So as we close out this deep dive, I'm left wondering, if our energy really does impact our business success, like Anne Marie suggests, what small shifts can we make in our daily lives to cultivate that? Like a more harmonious, abundant energy? What little tweaks to our thoughts or our habits, routines could make a difference?
That's a really powerful question. It's really about becoming more aware of our energy, right?
Yeah.
Making those conscious choices that are in alignment with our values, and then trusting that when we create that internal harmony, the success will follow.
It's a journey, and it starts with that first step.
Oh.
To our amazing listeners, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into numerology and business success. Keep exploring those big questions, and remember, the answers are often closer than you think. Until next time, happy decoding.